Morning, everybody. Welcome to Walnut Lodge, the 8:30 a.m. Saturday flow. We're in Volant, and it's a brisk morning. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for what happened. I'm not really sure what happened. Sometimes the internet just decides that it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. So thank you guys for staying with us, and I think that we should be okay from now through, but you know, who knows. So this is, we weren't here last week, so we're kind of back on track now with this 4-week session. And I know that a lot of you guys out there are doing the 4-week intensive, and it's super fun, and people are having a lot of breakthroughs. It's nice to do that 4-day in a row thing. Today's class is going to be kind of a nod to that. We're not going to do a lot of arm work. We're going to do just a little bit of arm work. We're going to do a lot of kind of nice stretching and some more core work because that's good. All right, so I'm sitting on my bolster. You're going to need a bolster or some kind of pillow. We'll need a block. You might need a strap. And I have a little towel here. Some of you guys might need to pad your ankle later. We're going to do some half heroes, so that might be useful. All right. So take your bolster and put it behind you. And I think I'm going to, no, I'm going to, yeah, I can, nope, I'm going to slide this way. I'm going to just turn to use my rug. And I have my new birthday socks on. James really did a good job here buying me my birthday socks. All my favorite socks had holes in them. I had 3 pairs of favorite socks. They were all destroyed. So now I have a new pair of favorite socks. All right, so stretch your legs out in front of you. Hold on to your knees. Curve back. And then just kind of get a sense of how your low back is doing. And we're going to take the sacrum and push it back. And then push it forward and send it up the spine. So curve back, almost like a sitting cat. Push forward. I do this in all kinds of orientations, pushing forward and up through the chest, and then releasing back, pushing forward and up. All this is just reacquainting yourself with that motion of the pelvis going back, posterior tilt, anterior tilt. And I don't know if you can see, as I go back, my legs straighten up. As I push my pelvis forward, my knees bend a little bit. That's all right. Just a couple of these. Just to kind of warm the pelvis up. A couple more. Now, you can stay here with your legs out in front of you. You can come to a cross-legged position. You can sit on your bolster, or you can come up onto your knees. All right, so a bunch of options there. Now, we're going to be on our knees here for a couple minutes, so if this is not going to do it for you, sit on something or sit with your legs straight out in front of you. All right, so interlace your fingers, and we're going to pull them apart. So if you stretch them forward, right in front of your chest, palms out, pull them apart, try to pull them apart. Feel what your shoulder blades are doing. So as you try to pull the hands apart, you can feel your shoulders kind of pulling back, and you feel the shoulder blades going in towards one another. So they're going in towards one another and down. All right? Now, we're going to do a round of Kapalabhati with our arms up and our hands pulling apart, right? So our arms are going to stretch up. Arms are just right by our ears. It doesn't have to be back. We're going to pull our fingers up You're going to lift your belly up, and we're going to Kapalabhati. So that's that sharp exhale through the nose. Sounds like this. And I think you can see my torso movement, so it's just an exhale from right above the pubic bone. All right? We're going to do a 1 minute round here. So reach your arms up. Nice long spine. Inhale and begin. Inhale, open your knees. Now just exhale slowly forward, hands down. Push them out, head down. Now for some of you, you're going to feel a pinch or a pain at the top of your deltoid, top of your arm into the joint. If that's you, you can take your hands apart, or you could just stay here and breathe through it. Depends on how bad it is. I feel it, but I can already feel it starting to dissipate. Inhale, release your arms. And we're going to just curl back. Pull the knees back together. Hands on your thighs. Pull your pelvis back. Just like when we started with the legs out in front of us. And then push your pelvis forward. Look up. Exhale, pelvis back. C-curve. Posterior tilt. Anterior tilt. Chest lift, arch, shoulders down. Exhale, push. And forward. And pelvis back. And forward. And it's easier here on your knees. If your knees can take it, you can feel that change through the spine really quickly. Just one more. Come to vertical, reach forward, tuck your right toe and push back. All right, so I'm here, just pushing back through my toes, through my sockies. I don't know when I'm going to take them off. And then change. This is just to let that knee stretch. Just tuck the toes, keep your belly lifted, pull your quad, reach through your heel. Just to give your leg a little bit of a break, because we're going to do that over again. And come back to sitting. Now, if that's too long, if you're getting lightheaded, you stop. If you're getting hot, good. Just keep doing it, all right? You can slow down. You don't have to be exhaling as fast as I'm exhaling. And remember, there's no inhale here. It's just all exhale. All right. So interlace your fingers. Nice and tight. Push them forward. Pull them up beside your ears. Now try to pull them open. As you pull them open, you feel your shoulder blades going to the middle and down towards the spine and down towards the waist. Sit up nice and tall. Drop your chin just a little bit. Inhale one more round, 1 minute, and begin. Inhale, open the knees a bit, just a little bit, and push forward. Hands down, head down. Let your belly drop out. That's why your knees are open. Breathe into your belly. Push the hands. Release. Pull the knees in. Roll up. Exhale. Curve the spine back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Just feel the spine is starting really to become fluid. You want to feel the curve change as you go up the body. Pelvis leads on the way back, pelvis leads on the way up. Close your eyes and just do a couple more and feel the change of that curve up the spine. It feels good, and this is why we're doing it here after those exhales, just to create this beautiful flow. One more. And push up, come to vertical and forward. This time we're going to go into a down dog. So I might as well use my mat, right? Tuck your toes. Knees soft. Nice and wide with your hands. And then stretch to the right leg, press the heel. I'm not going to be here too long. Press from the, feel the force go from the hands through the shoulders and the torso to that right sit bone. Kneecap is lifted. And then change to the left leg, pull that quad up. And press both and come down. So if you're not sitting on your shins like me, if you're just sitting on your bolster, then I want you to come up onto your knees. Everyone's going to be on their knees. Now I'm going to do this just to demonstrate sitting so you can see my arm. So we're going to go back to that same arm position, right? But then we're going to add a slight side bend, right and then left. We're going to hold that twist, all right? And then we're going to do a round of Kapalabhati to the right and to the left. That might seem a little weird. That's all right. So we're coming up onto our knees together. Just put your hands back here and push your pelvis forward. So I'm here. And just kind of say hello to the hip flexors. So you're going to just push them forward. Push them forward. Lift the chest. A couple more. Push it forward. Push it forward. One more time. Just push it forward. Stay there. Stomach up, tailbone down. Pelvis trying to reach through. Just easy. And then we come to vertical. Come back to the front. All right. Interlace. Stretch them up. Pull them apart just a little bit. Stomach up, tailbone down. Not a big side bend. We're going to side bend, push to the right. Just a little bit. I'm looking up to my left. And we're going to do Kapalabhati right here. And begin. Inhale and inhale, come up, release, and sit down. Breathe. So you might notice that left side lower than the right. You can feel your diaphragm a lot more closely or keenly in that position. We're using this to just change the pressure a little bit on our internal organs. When we go to side bend left, we'll get more of a stretch through the liver on that right side. Just a couple more breaths here just to restore that. Now, if in the middle of that Kapalabhati you go, I cannot do this, then just breathe big into the right side of your rib cage. And we're going to do the right side, so come on up. Interlace, push it forward, come up, side bend, left. And you know, it's not a big side bend, just enough to put a stretch on the ribs there. Keep your tailbone down. Inhale, and Kapalabhati. Inhale up and release. Come down. Sit, breathe. Big breaths into your chest. And then you might feel a lot more freedom in that rib cage. So when we side bend left and put that stretch on the right side and then do that breath, You know, that's a little bit of a pump on the liver. So it just really helps that organ. I mean, all the movements that we do help the organs flush fresh blood through them. I mean, that's one of the reasons why being inactive and losing the flexibility of your torso is really so devastating on your health, because you really need to have the torso to move. Actually, you know, your ribs help the circulation of the spine, the circulation to the inside of the body. The ribs don't articulate into the body of the vertebrae. They're between the vertebrae. So as the breath goes up and down, there's this little pump action on the vertebrae themselves. So the nice big breaths really keep the mobility of that spine, because it keeps all of that tissue supplied with blood. All right, we're going to do one more round. This time all we're going to do is just inhale, exhale over to an easy side bend, and then we're just going to breathe into the ribs on that side. No Kapalabhati. So come on up. Keep your tailbone down. This needs to lift, right? You don't want to feel this in your low back. If you feel it in your low back, you need to push your sit bones down a little bit more. And if you can't push your sit bones down enough to take that out of the low back, then you just need to sit down. You can do all this sitting. I like the kneeling because I feel like I can get more of a push through the whole side. All right, so interlace, push the arms up. All right, side bend right. So stomach up, tailbone down. Inhale, push your arms up. Exhale, side bend right. Now you feel that stretch on the left ribs, right? Now what we're going to do to keep side bending to the right is you're going to inhale into the left rib cage, open it, exhale, pull your belly. Inhale, open the ribs, exhale, pull your belly. Inhale, open the ribs, push out your arms, exhale. Inhale, open, exhale. Inhale, open the ribs, exhale. Two more. Inhale, open the ribs, exhale. One more. Inhale, open the ribs, exhale. Come up. Stay there. Tailbone down. Feel that left side drop. Couple breaths. And push up, side bend left. Open the right ribs. Here we go. Inhale into the right ribs. Exhale. Go. Inhale, ribs. Exhale. Inhale, ribs. Exhale. Inhale, ribs. Exhale. Inhale into the ribs. Exhale, over. Inhale into the ribs. Exhale, over. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, over. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And come up. Release. And sit. Breathe. We're going to breathe with that snake motion of the spine, right? So exhale, pull the pelvis tilted back. And inhale, forward and up. All right, so exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, couple more. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Couple more in your own timing. Just feel the spine. and come to vertical. So we could do all that without that Kapalabhati, but are you warm now? Yeah, I'm warm. So it's the breath work is twofold. Right now it's to warm us up. Kapalabhati means shining skull, so it can, make you really break into a sweat. And then we're exercising our respiratory capacity, right? You're using the diaphragm, you're using that sharp exhale of your stomach, you're really trying to expand the ribs on those second breaths. All of that really helps that whole mechanism. And then why I like this spine undulation is when you get done with that, you really feel the mobility. And you're nice and warm. So we're going to do one more chest stretch before we do one more pranayama. Yep. All right, so we're going to come up, take your hands back behind, interlace your fingers, and stretch the arms just straight. Now, if you can't get your arms straight, grab your strap. You can make a loop, or you can just hold it, or you can hold it back behind you and then straighten your elbows, right? No strain on the elbows, just do what you can. All right, so either variation. The purpose of this is just to get a little bit more opening right here, collarbones. Under the collarbones to the middle of that sternum. So straighten the arms. Pull your stomach up. Now, if you have your fingers interlaced, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull open. As you pull open on your hands with them behind you, you're going to get the same thing. Shoulder blades are going to roll to the midline and pull down, so you're going to get more of a stretch through the chest. All right, pull them open. Drop your chin. And when you inhale, push your sternum forward, out, and then up to the corner of your room. And then when you exhale, pull your stomach up and your sit bones down. Inhale, pull out on your arms as you breathe up. Exhale. Inhale, push. Exhale. Inhale, push. Exhale. Let those ribs lift. Two more. Inhale, pull on the fingers, lift. Exhale. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale. Drop your chin. Release the arms. Come down. Curl your spine. And then again. Inhale. Undulate up. Exhale back. Now on the last couple of these, when you feel your pelvis go forward into that anterior tilt, feel the front of the hip sockets. Because how you do this is you're going to use your hip flexors, maybe a little bit of your quad, more hip flexors than anything. So from the low back, that muscle goes through the pelvis, underneath all of your guts, comes across that pubic rim, attaches to the inside of your thigh, really high up on the lesser trochanter. A couple more. Just feel the anterior tilt, feel the posterior tilt. A couple more. All right, reach your hands forward. And then just one more time, tuck the toes. Press back into an easy down dog just to release the knees, or actually stretch the back of the knee. Pull, and you can again always just stretch into one to feel that, and then into the other. And then into both. push away from your fingers, lift the sit bones. And coming down. We're going to do one more chest stretch. And I'm taking my sockies off because now my feet are sweating.
Corey says she's warm.
What?
Corey says she's warm.
She's warm. Oh, good. Good, Corey. Yeah, so simple, right? We're not doing jumping jacks, we're not doing squats. We're just using our breath. And that's enough to warm you up if you know how to use it. All right, we're going to do one more chest stretch. So coming up onto our knees, interlace, stretch them to straight, roll the shoulders back, pull open on the hands, drive the sit bones down. And breathe. Inhale, chest forward, out and up. Exhale, stomach up, tailbone down. Big inhales. Exhale. Open the ribs as much as you can on your inhales. Couple more. Now my hands are sweating. Last one. Big inhale. Release. And come down. And just a couple more undulations. Use your breath. I should just call this snake yoga, right? One more. All right. So we're pretty warmed up. We can feel our rib cage. You can feel your abdominals. Now we're just going to take that into one more pranayama exercise. So stretch your legs in front of you and then pull that bolster right up behind you or your pillow. You could use a pillow. And I need a drink. All right. So this next pranayama is kind of a whole body movement. And we're going to start with our legs forward. And you're going to push your pelvis into that anterior tilt that we've been working on. You're going to let your knees roll open a little bit. And then you're going to dig the outside of your feet into your mat and try to pull your legs towards your pelvis. So when you do that, you'll feel the front of your hips start to work, right? That's your hip flexor pulling this. All right? And then you're going to stretch the legs out and fold forward. Now, why I did all that anterior tilt, posterior tilt on this is because we don't want to do a posterior tilt here. So let's just do one and feel what that feels like. So you're sitting up, pull your low back, rock back on your sit bones. So we're on the back of our sit bones. You feel your sacrum. It's getting ready to kind of roll under, isn't it? Okay, so we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. Okay, so feel what vertical is. Now, let your legs rotate. Push your pelvis forward. Dig the heels into the ground. Pull your feet and feel your pelvis go forward to vertical. All right, so we're going to go forward to vertical. And then when you stretch your legs, you're going to just pitch forward. You're not going to go back. Hopefully that's clear. All right? Now, our hands are going to be doing the same thing. We're interlacing and we're going to pull open, but we're going to put our hands back behind our head. Now, you're going to put your index finger, basically, you're going to put your skull right here, so my thumbs are going down my neck. I'm going to pull open on my hands in this position. So when I do that, I feel my chest open, and what are my shoulder blades doing? Same thing that they were doing before. They're going towards one another and down, which is contributing to this chest lift. Now, if you let go of your hip flexors, you don't have anything. So you have to keep your pelvis pushing forward, and then you push your chest forward, and the arms will help, right? And then you're just going to look up. Do you want to tilt back? You can tilt back if you want. As you tilt back, you feel more work on your hip flexors. So let's just do that motion one time. And I'm going through this in detail because this kind of stuff can either be very powerful if you know what you're doing, or it can be nothing. I know some of you that have had, come to the lodge, you've done this before. And sometimes I don't explain it this clearly when I'm in person, because I can see you and I can correct you as you're going. All right, but I can't see you. So hopefully I've talked enough that you understand what I'm doing. All right? So our hands are behind our head and we're hanging forward. Now, I'm not going to go all the way down. I mean, right now my back, I could probably go a little bit further, but I'm going to talk. But if you can take your face and put it on your shins or your knees, do it. So we're as forward folded as we can. We're going to start by pushing the pelvis forward. Even though we're forward folded, you're going to pull your elbows open and reach your chest forward. So you're going to pull, and then you're going to take that chest up. As you pull your legs in, look up to the high corner of the room. That's going to be inhale. And then exhale, you're going to go forward as you straighten your legs. So inhale will be pelvis forward, chest out, bend the knees, pull the legs. And then exhale and over and over. Okay? So hopefully we have that. Now, the hard part is this is one long inhale and one long exhale. Now you want to try to stay with that breath pattern. We're going to do 10. By the end of that 10th one, you might be gasping for air. If you are gasping for air, breathe. Drop out of the pattern. If you are okay, then stay with the pattern. We're slowing down our basic rate of breath, the respiration rate, and you're trying really to get as much air in on the inhale. And then as you go forward, not only are you exhaling, but the position that you're using will allow the belly to push on your diaphragm and push the rest of the air out. So it's going to be a really clean, efficient release of the air in your lungs. All right? Why do we want to do that? Well, because that is what pranayama is good for, right? Now, the other thing is you might break out into a sweat. Good. All right. And like I said, do not strain. If you feel like you can't stay with this breath rhythm, take a couple of extra breaths, in the middle somewhere. All right? Interlace your fingers, hands behind your head, and then pitch yourself forward. Exhale all the air. All right? And we go. Inhale, push the pelvis forward. More, chest lift. Pull the heels towards the sit bones and lift up. Then exhale, exhale, straighten the legs and come down. Inhale, reach the chest and flex and push really high. Exhale, you go over, and down. Inhale, push the pelvis and the chest, pull the legs. Exhale, you go over and over and over. Inhale, push the pelvis and the chest, pull the legs. Exhale, go over and over and over. Inhale, push the chest and the pelvis, pull the legs. Exhale, push forward and over and over. Inhale, pull the arms to lift the chest really high. Exhale, let them go. Feel your upper back stretch. Inhale, push it forward, pull the blades, lift the chest. Exhale, push it long and fold and fold. Inhale, push the chest, pull the legs, feel the blades. Exhale, push it over. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, push the chest forward and out. Pull the blades. Exhale, fold forward. Let the elbows release. Inhale, push it forward. Pull the legs and lift up. Exhale and fold. And just one more. Inhale, chest and pelvis. Pull the legs and lift up. And push. And exhale. And over. Release the arms. Now keep your chin down. We're going to just roll up. And then we're going to roll right back onto that pillow or bolster. Now when you lay back on your pillow or your bolster, your shoulders are going to be on the bolster. Your head is on the bolster, so it's underneath your upper back. It's underneath your upper back. Your ribs are kind of pulling down. So, it'd be nice if you had a space between your waist and the ground. All right? Space between the waist and the ground. My head is, it's tilting back, but it's on the bolster. If you don't have a bolster and you just have pillows, your pillows are going to be underneath your shoulder blades and your head. And then there's a little space maybe between your waist and the floor. And if there isn't, it's not that big of a deal. So take your arms out to the sides. And what we're going to do is a posterior tilt of the pelvis. We're going to take our sacrum and we're going to pull it into the ground, and then we're going to release it. And we're going to take our sacrum and we're going to pull it into the ground and release. And pull it into the ground, feel that stretch, and release. And pull it into the ground and release. And pull it into the ground, feel that low stomach, and release. This is mainly obliques. And pull and release. And pull, and your ribs are going down. And pull and release. One more. Pull. Now stay there. And release your ribs up. So what is that? We're using our obliques. We're keeping the pelvis position. You feel that sacrum on the ground. But then what you're doing is you're going to let go of the rectus, which is pulling the rib cage down, and you're going to let that go up to the ceiling. Now, what happens when you do this successfully is you feel like a hollow. You feel like your belly is hollow. I've kind of lost it because I'm talking. But we're going to do it a couple more times, because a lot of times what will happen is you can keep the pelvis down, release the ribs, do a couple of breaths, and then you lose it. So, if you've done this or doing this for the first time, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. This is an Uddiyana Bandha. This is, an isolation of the external obliques. So we're trying to suss out the actions of the abdominals, which, takes a while to really get. All right, so we're back here, and we're going to start the same thing. We're going to pull our sacrum onto the ground and release. Just doing it 3 times. Pull it and release. Pull it, stay, breathe your ribs up to the ceiling. So you're trying to take the edge of the ribs on the inhale and push them up while keeping the pelvis on the ground. Now, if all of a sudden you feel like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, if your pelvis is on the ground and you can breathe your ribs up to the ceiling, then you are doing it. Because once you can get this isolation, it's really easier than the first thing that we did. So just keep breathing the ribs up and keeping the pelvis where it is. And then let that go. Breathe into your belly. All right, now we're going to do something kind of weird and fun. Laying on your bolster, I want you to take your pelvis and try to circle it. So I'm going to push my hip bone to the left and then pull it towards my spine and then push my hip bone to the right and down. So I'm trying to make a circle with my pelvis, and we're going this way. Actually, it's easier to do it laying down than sitting. All right, so here's our pelvis, and we're just trying to do these little circles. So you could go right if you want, but it's going to go side and then back and then side. So it's almost 3 actions. It's a lateral movement, and then you tilt your sacrum into the ground, so posterior tilt, and then another lateral movement, and then you release into almost an anterior tilt. So it's going this way, but it's going this way, but it's also going this way. So side, back, side, forward. And I know some of you are going, what the hell? All right? So just lay back and see if you can get a circle going. It feels pretty good, right? Use your stomach. So, side, then pull the sacrum, side, let it go. Pull the sacrum, side, let it go. And then go the other way. And again, this is pretty fun. But, I'm not going to do a lot with it because I know this is hard. Language is hard here. Couple more, and if I could see you, I could help you better. Couple more. And then let go. Let it go. Roll your legs. Just let it go. Breathe. Okay, so what would happen if we did that little circle while we are doing the first movement of trying to keep our pelvis on the ground with the belly sucked up? It's like, how can you possibly do that? Well, you can do it. This is the beginning of abdominal rolls. I've always really struggled with even how to explain this. So this is one of my latest ways just to kind of get that feeling of it. Why would you want to do this? Well, for the same reason we wanted to do the breathing with all the side bending. Just to get motion into the abdominal cavity. Alright? So today we're really kind of focusing on the insides of us. Alright, so we're just going to try this. And if you feel like you aren't anywhere near it, no worries. Alright, here we go. Your head's back. Now, take your sacrum and pull it into the ground. And let it go. And again, waist and sacrum go down, posterior tilt. Let it go. One more. Waist and sacrum down. Hold on to it. Breathe your ribs up. So just stay there a second. Now, for those of you that are new, if this is, as far as you're going to get, that's great. Just keep that pelvis, the sacrum on the ground, and then keep working the ribs up. Don't think how to do it. Just feel your sacrum, now breathe your ribs up. Your body will figure it out if you just give it those clear directives. Pelvis down, just breathe the ribs up. Now, whatever you have here, keep it. And now we're going to try to circle. Go left, down, right pelvis. Go. Try to feel it pull deep into your guts. Try to go both ways. Couple more. And let go. Couple breaths. So, fun time with your belly here. Early Saturday morning. Couple more big inhales. It's nice to be able to feel all the different parts. Can't emphasize that enough. Alright, so now we're going to put this lower pull with an upper pull, and these are going to kind of look like baby crunches. We're going to do just a couple rounds of this so that you can go back to a feeling that you're familiar with. So as we roll our upper body into a curve, if you put your hands right here between your ribs, you feel your rectus pop out. All right. So what we were doing in the previous exercise is we were trying to let that go so that we could breathe our ribs to the ceiling. So what we're going to do, hands behind your head. We're going to exhale. We're going to anchor our pelvis. So that means press the sacrum into the ground. Then you're going to pull your elbows in your head and then pull your ribs. Your shoulder blades are still going to be on the bolster. And then we're going to inhale, reach the ribs up, and go back. Actually, if you want, you can move over the bolster just a little bit here. I think that, my head now is kind of hanging off the bolster, but still the back of my head is there. But for those of you that have the neck issues, because your hands are behind your head, you won't have that. So we're going to inhale, exhale, anchor the sacrum, pull the elbows, drop your chin, pull the ribs, inhale, go back, and ribs go up. Exhale, anchor and elbows and ribs and head. Inhale, release, and ribs go up. Exhale, anchor and elbow and ribs and head. Inhale, release, feel the ribs go up. And exhale, anchor and ribs and elbow and chin. Inhale, go back, feel the ribs go up. Exhale, anchor and elbow and ribs, chin. Now stay right here. Now when you inhale, can you push your ribs more into the bolster? So as you push your ribs back into the bolster, you should feel your whole torso come up a little bit, forward. You're still laying on that bolster. We haven't pulled ourselves off that bolster. We're not into our hip flexors. All we're doing is we're using our external obliques to keep that sacrum down. And then by breathing the back ribs into the bolster, it's causing the abdominals, the rectus, to pop a little bit more. You're starting to get tired in the front, right? I know it seems weird because you want to think that you're exhaling as you're going forward, right? But now actually what's happening is you're using your inhale and the ribs are kind of pushing you forward, right? Couple more. Don't worry so much about what's going on. Just try to feel, when you inhale, try to feel those ribs expanding on the bolster, right? And your stomach is working. Couple more. Couple more. Now on this next one, pull yourself up off the bolster a little bit and come down. Inhale, exhale, pull, and come down. 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 Exhale, pull, and one more. Exhale, pull, and come down. Release, ribs up to the ceiling, and breathe. Now when we pull ourselves up off of that bolster, you engage your hip flexors. That's what pulls the body up off the bolsters. But you can feel your abdominals really pull the ribs down into more of a curl. So I actually felt more of my stomach there, but since I'm so aware of my hip flexors, I could feel them working also. So just a couple more breaths here. Big inhales. Just let the whole belly and the rib cage move with a big breath. All right. So one more round. Hands behind your head. Inhale. Exhale. Anchor. Elbows, ribs, and inhale down. Exhale, anchor, elbow, ribs, pull, and down. Now up off the bolster. And exhale, anchor, elbow, ribs, pull, and inhale, down. Exhale, anchor, elbow, ribs, pull, and inhale, release. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and inhale, we go back. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and inhale, back to that extension. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and inhale, down. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and inhale, down. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and inhale, we go down. Last one. Exhale, anchor, ribs, pull, and come on up. Now, move your bolster, come over onto your belly, elbows down, relax your pelvis. Now just push your chest forward and then anchor your pelvis. Breathe the ribs. So for some of us in this position, you feel that pinch in the low back. Just anchor your pelvis, hold on, press down through the elbows, and just reach your ribs forward. So we're just kind of breathing, giving the hip flexors a little bit of a stretch. So for me, I don't feel anything there. So if you are that person, grab your bolster, come up onto the bolster, press down with your elbows. It's kind of like an up dog, but we're going to stay here a while. And I just like the feeling of the ribs on the bolster. And then if you feel that, if you start to feel that sink really into that low back, you just need more sit bones. Press your sit bones into the backs of your legs. Feel your tailbone. Reach your tailbone through your legs and try to feel it pull up towards your chest. And just breathe. Now I can feel a little bit of a stretch through that hip flexor line. I'm going to move my knees back a little bit. It's not a big deal. All this is a little bit of a break because we did all of that forward folding. Just a couple more. And then release your torso. And we're going to push ourselves back to sitting. All right. Cool. We good? Hopefully you're good. All right. Now, let's all start this on the bolster. And then you guys will know if you need it or not. But I always like to give a little bit of variation for the people that can't, do stuff. All right. So, and who knows why you can't. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to sit our left leg back into a hero. Right. And I want to be actually a little bit more at the end of my bolster. All right. So our left leg is back. Our right leg is just going to be straight here. All right. Now, for some people, this is a big deal. If you have had knee injuries, if your ankle is really compromised, that's where you'd want this little towel maybe underneath your ankle. So left leg in hero, right foot flat, and then just pull into a nice straight line. Push your pelvis forward. Now, if you feel like this is super easy for you, just creep yourself a little forward and slide off the bolster. And then we're just right here. Push up. Keep relaxing in that left hip. We've done a lot of external rotating today. So we want to make sure that this is a real hero. The heel, you can see my foot on the outside of my thigh. My knee is right across from my hip. And I'm just pulling myself into a nice straight line. But here's the thing. If you take your inner thigh on this lower leg, and actually both inner thighs, and pull them into the sockets. So you're going to take that thigh and pull it into your socket. What will happen is both knees will pull to the inside. You can see what happens right there. But we're thinking more about pulling back and in than just squeezing in. So we're pulling back and in. And what will happen is that pelvis is going to go into an anterior tilt. And push yourself up. Relax your socket. Now, put your right hand back behind the bolster. Put your left hand on your shin and pull into an easy twist. Now, if you have enough flexibility to get the arm on the outside of the leg, do that. Sometimes that's a little harder up on the bolster because your knee isn't as high in relationship to your chest as it is when you are sitting on the floor. So just easy twist. Couple more breaths. Now, on these last couple, feel the left rib cage. When you exhale, pull that left rib cage into your thigh, into that right thigh. You might be able to feel your abdominals really clearly after all of that work. But when we use the obliques unilaterally, they will pull our torso into a twist. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We're just pulling the ribs and release. Come forward, stretch your legs out, and then we're going to go right leg back, hero. Make sure the heel's on the outside, left leg up, slide to the end of your bolster if you're using a bolster. And then we're just going to sit here, hold on to your shin, lift up, breathe. Just push the pelvis forward. Feel both thighs work to pull the inner thigh into the hip socket. And then reach that left hand around and pull yourself into a twist. Push up nice and tall. Then take the right side of your rib cage, and then on the exhale, you're going to rotate it towards the inner thigh on that left side. Keep that left shoulder blade pressing down. Keep working on both inner thighs. Just really trying to release the inside. Couple more breaths. And release. Come back to the front, release your leg, Straighten your knees. Stay up on that bolster unless you need a drink. Soles of the feet together. Pull them in. Roll the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. And we're just going to do little baby butterflies here. But, you know, our hips have been doing a lot of work. So we're just going to use a little bit of pressure, but we're going to pull up. So we're going to take our knees and try to pull them up to the ceiling. But we're going to resist with our arms. So we're just going to do an easy push down just to hold them in place, right? Now, try to pull the knees up towards the ceiling. We're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the hold or the pull. And again, try to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Ease them down. Get a little bit more, right? And it's not a big deal. We're not taking our hands and jamming our legs down to the ground. We're just using the weight of our arms as a little bit of a resistance. I'm going to just do that one more time. So, pull the knees up into your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. So, see, I have a little bit, I have quite a bit more. All right. And then slowly pull the legs in. Now, we're going to go into a full just sitting hero. And again, if you want to use your bolster, it's right there, right? Heels on the outside. Just sit up. Feel your hip sockets. Now you're going to put your hands in your hip sockets. Now either you're sitting on the floor or you're sitting at the edge of your bolster, and you can feel your sit bones. Like I can feel my sit bones just pushing into the front of that bolster because I'm really kind of half off of that bolster. All right, so we're going to push our sit bones back into the bolster, and we're just going to fold forward. Keep your back nice and flat. Now, pull your knees together. Try to pull the inner thighs into the sockets. Just feel them pull in. And this is to release. You can take your hands out once you feel the fold. This is to feel that inner thigh work to counteract that rotation that we just did. Pull, 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 and come up. Tuck the toes, press back, just let the knees come straight, and then we're going to come right back down to sitting. All right. Pull your left leg in. So I'm kind of sitting on it, right? And because I have short shins, my knee is pointing, pretty straight forward. Some of your knees will be pointing more to the outside. I'm not sitting on my bolster. It's just back there. All right, pick your other leg up. And first we're just going to put it on our knee. And if you're good there, pull that up as close to your hip socket as you can so that we're in a half lotus. Now, toes on the outside of your leg. If this is too much, creep it out. All right? So just an easy half lotus. And what we're paying attention to is this knee. All right, lotuses, if you can do them, are great. If you have the range of motion in the hip, and then you have enough bend in the knee. But if you don't, just pull this out, put it over your knee, and let this knee drop. Maybe your knee's up here. We're just going to hold this wherever you are, here, or, you know, if you are back here in a lotus, just be there, right? And just sit up. You're going to hold this for a minute, just letting that work. Now, I've had, you know, knee injuries, you know, starting from high school, but I danced a long time on my knees because I understood how to deal with them. And these intense or flexions, these deep flexions of the knees are good for you, but you have to know how to do them. You can't push the knee. You have to make sure that everything is lined up. And here, there's no strain. I'm not pushing or pulling. My knee is not on the ground. Some of your knees will be on the ground. All right? My knee is just kind of hanging out there. My hip is kind of enjoying this. It's just a nice 1 minute hold. And then we're going to pull it up and release it out. Take both legs out. And then just baby bounces, just to let the tissues release anything that needs to be released. All right, now we're just going to go to the other side. So again, pull this foot up, and if you can, you're going to sit, you're going to put the back of your left thigh right in the middle of your arch, if you can do that. Then take your left leg, put it on your knee. Check that out. Is that good for you? If you feel nothing, slide it up to a half lotus. If this heel gets to be too much, slide it out. So we're either here or this heel is closer to your hip socket. You choose. Like right now, you know, this is a nice stretch in your hip. So, you know, if you feel like you have to keep your leg out there because your knee hurts, when you pull it in closer and you get that nice hip stretch, then you need the hip stretch, right? Because this is a complex or compound stretch. You know, mainly it's a hip stretch, but if you have knee issues, you have to be able to get that nice deep flexion in the knee, all right? So we're just going to sit nice and tall, let your hip release, just 1 minute. Couple more breaths. All right, and release that. Both legs go out, just straight. Maybe give them a little quick bounce. Grab your bolster. Put it in front of you. And then reach your legs out into a straddle. All right, doesn't have to be a big straddle. Actually, my straddle is pretty small. All right, so just a little baby rock forward and back. Just to kind of feel that. All right, now we're going to roll to our left hip. Let that right knee drop in. It's bent. Actually, I should move this. And then keep yourself over. You're going to push through your heel. Turn the toes up to the ceiling, which will roll that hip down. And sit. Now we're going to rock to the right. Let the left knee roll over into the socket. Feel it into the socket. Now I kind of like my rug here. Now slide the heel out. Rotate the toes to the ceiling and let that rotation turn you. All right, so we roll to the left. Knee rolls over. Push out, toes up, sit. Roll to the right, knee rolls over. Push out the heel, toes, and sit. Roll to the left, knee rolls over. Push out, toes up, sit. I love that feeling of that space. And to the right, left knee rolls over. Push out that left heel, toes up, sit. Roll to the left, right leg over. Push out and sit. Roll to the right and over. Push out and sit. Couple more. Roll to the left and over. Push out and sit. Roll to the right and over. Push out and one more set. Roll to the left. Feel it go. Push and sit, and to the right, and feel it roll, and push out, sit. All right, just push yourself forward just a little bit. Feel like you got a little bit more space, right? A little bit more space. Come up. Now grab your bolster. Throw your knees up on that bolster just to give those hips a little bit of a break. I didn't even get to my block. That's all right. Rolling down. And we're just going to take a nice little break here. Relax your back. Relax your hips. Feel the knees relax. And breathe. Big inhale. Roll to your right side. And press yourself up to sitting. All All right, so that's it for a snowy February Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Namaste.